Thank you, Dr. Messersmith, faculty, and students of the University of South Dakota. My name is Angela Shoup. I am the Executive Director of the Collier Center for Communication Disorders and a professor in the School of Behavioral and Brain Sciences at the University of Texas at Dallas. I also currently serve as President-elect of the American Academy of Audiology and as Vice Chair of the Audiology Academy of the National Academies of Practice. I am honored to have the opportunity to participate in the 2020 White Coat Ceremony. I would like to extend my congratulations to the students receiving their white coats today. This event will have different meaning for each of you. The white coat may act as an outward symbol of your internal commitment to serving individuals with communication differences. It can be a reminder of your dedication to having a positive impact on the lives of others and for holding yourselves and each other to a high professional standard. You are now embarking upon the next phase of training for your career and also the continued growth and molding of your chosen profession. You are part of a relatively young profession with a great deal of potential. How you conduct yourself as a professional will reflect not only upon you, but also on your colleagues and your profession as a whole. Early in the 20th century, former Supreme Court Justice Louis Brandeis noted that true professionals are the keepers, transmitters, and advancers of knowledge gained at least in part through experience. Note that Justice Brandeis suggests 3 roles in our relationship to the knowledge base of our professions. Early in your educational experience, you spend a lot of time in the classroom and laboratories gaining information and acquiring skills to become a keeper of knowledge. As you move along your educational path, you increasingly apply the theoretical knowledge gained to clinical application. Through this theoretical foundation and clinical experience, you are becoming keepers of the knowledge of your chosen profession. As you mature in your skills, you will have the opportunity to transmit the knowledge entrusted to you to others. Even as a student clinician, you will begin imparting your knowledge to patients and their families. You will support other students who are entering the program. You will have opportunities to educate possible future colleagues about speech pathology and audiology. You can advocate for your profession and for those who benefit from your services by educating the public and legislators. Over time, you can consider becoming a mentor to a student, new clinician, or speech and hearing scientist. Reflect on those who have mentored you throughout your personal and professional development. Think of the impact they made on not only your career choices and advancement, but also in enriching your life. Through transmitting knowledge gained, you have an important role in serving as a link in continuing the flow of knowledge, experience, and professional philosophy between generations of audiologists and speech pathologists. This is imperative in sustaining the professions and ensuring those who benefit from our services have access to expert and compassionate care. Our professions are dynamic, and the knowledge foundation must continue to advance to grow the evidence base of our professions and ensure we are providing the most efficient and effective care possible to our patients. You must be an active participant in this process, either by contributing to the scientific data underpinning our care models, or by actively embracing new evidence-based practices and incorporating them into your clinical services. To strive for excellence in clinical care, research support is required to address clinical questions, develop new diagnostic and intervention approaches, and to establish the evidence base for care models. In addition, excellence in clinical care requires highly skilled clinicians who have been educated to be critical thinkers and are equipped to continuously update their practices in evolving professions in a rapidly changing healthcare arena. Research scientists gain insight into meaningful questions through interaction with clinicians who are often observing phenomena in their clinical patients that could inform scientific inquiry. In advancing the knowledge of our professions, research informs clinical practice and provides the evidence base that improves outcomes, supports reimbursement policy, and sustains practice. Clinical practice provides inspiration for research and can synergistically support research projects. Through these activities, our professions are advanced. When one seeks to become an audiologist or speech pathologist, one expects to acquire the specialized knowledge and technical skills necessary to provide quality patient care and to practice autonomously. When one becomes a member of a specialized professional group, such as speech-language pathology and audiology, certain behaviors are considered the expected conduct for all members of the group. Professions have informal codes of conduct that are subtly implied and informally implemented. They also have formal ethical codes that must be adhered to by those who choose to practice within the profession. Being a competent provider is crucial, but it is not sufficient to be considered a professional. To some extent, professionalism is an indicator of respect. Respect for self, respect for those one serves, and respect for the professional group to which one belongs. Over the years, some of the professions, including law and medicine, have experienced increasing negative publicity, which has called into question the role of the professions in society. In 2005, William M. Sullivan distinguished civic professionalism as a focus on service and the public good. Civic professionalism includes training, as noted by Brandeis, that encompasses theoretical knowledge and rigorous mentored practical experiential training. Further, development in civic professionalism requires ethical reflection to develop an educated conscience. In Sullivan's view, the professions are vital reminders that human welfare ultimately depends upon cultivation of values, such as care and responsibility, which cannot be produced by self-interest alone. Justice Brandeis also includes in his descriptors of professions that they are governed by a guiding code of ethics that includes service to others, set and enforce their own standards, and value performance above reward, or once again, are not motivated by self-interest alone. Sullivan notes that professionals focusing on the quality of their craft and the inventiveness of their practice will provide an alternative model of what work can be, a contribution to public value, as well as a source of motivation and deep personal satisfaction. During this ceremony, you might want to take the opportunity to reflect upon what led you to choose your career path. Store in memory your current intrinsic motivation and passion, and then think about how you will hold on to this passion long term. Participating in a caring profession is infinitely rewarding. Being a healthcare provider is also very demanding. And in the current healthcare climate, there is a focus on adding additional initiatives to enhance the patient experience and improve population health, while also decreasing healthcare costs. Further, the last few months have presented additional opportunities for us to carefully evaluate our current approaches to care provision. You have been embarking upon a new profession at an unprecedented time. We are currently living in a time where we must respond to a global pandemic, requiring changes in how we not only provide care and approach our work responsibilities, but significant adjustments in our personal and social lives. We are being called to address systemic racism and social unrest that has been plaguing our country for centuries. In many news stories and our casual discussions, we focus on what these situations have taken from our daily lives. We focus on not being able to travel, inability to get together with family or friends, restrictions on social activities and access to restaurants, shopping, and entertainment venues. More importantly, we are also focused on the very serious loss of life, livelihood, educational opportunities, nutritious food, shelter, and access to health care experienced by many. We must, as a society, continue to actively pursue solutions to resolve these important issues. Perspective and how we choose to view the world has a tremendous impact on our success in navigating such unexpected events. Instead of viewing this as a time rife with conflict and challenges, we can also envision it as rich with opportunities to explore new approaches to enhance our human experience as well as the experiences of others. Let's shift the focus to the skills that are important to successfully navigating our current experiences and how continued development of these can serve to sustain our passion and support our professional purpose. These skills include adaptability, collaboration, empathy, resilience, and hope. I would encourage you to reflect upon these, as well as others that you find particularly important or helpful to sustaining your passion and purpose. So first, let's consider adaptability. In speech-language pathology and audiology, as in most professions, adaptability is an extremely important trait, not only for you to be the best professional you can be, but also to enhance satisfaction with your daily work life. We live in a world of rapidly changing expectations and requirements. This has become even more evident with the need to constantly adapt to the changing landscape in healthcare and educational environments required by COVID-19. It is incumbent upon all of us to not only identify means to keep those we serve as well as ourselves safe during in-person service provision, but to also embrace innovative approaches to care delivery for those situations in which strict infectious control procedures are simply not sufficient. Members of our profession are exhorted to be lifelong learners who rapidly deploy innovations in technology or care delivery models to improve patient outcomes. COVID-19 has not only encouraged such adaptability, but made it a requirement. Collaboration. Interprofessional practice and collaboration has been identified as a means of not only improving patient outcomes, enhancing population health, and reducing costs, but also in providing a more enjoyable and rewarding care provider experience. My past and present experiences with interprofessional collaboration in clinical care, program development, research, education, policy development, and advocacy have been the most successful in accomplishing initiatives and improving outcomes. In addition to improving experience as a care provider, enhancing patient experiences, and reducing costs, cultivating interprofessional relationships ensures that the speech, hearing, and balance needs of our patients with various comorbidities will be more consistently recognized and addressed earlier. Interprofessional education has been valuable in designing infectious control models and telehealth options during COVID-19. Further, interprofessional collaboration has been necessary for advancing policies to support telehealth and COVID legislation. While interprofessional partnerships positively impact us as caregivers, we know that they can also be life-changing to our patients. So now let's consider empathy. As healthcare providers, we recognize that the ability to empathize with our patients is an important skill. However, we must keep in mind that we should not expect them to empathize with us in return. We have chosen to serve in support of their healthcare needs. They have not chosen to serve us in support of our needs. Empathy requires significant reflection. We must acknowledge first that we cannot truly know how the other person is feeling and do not share their lived experience. However, we are making the commitment to spend time in reflection and active listening to gain greater insight into their thoughts and experiences. It is also extremely important to have empathy for each other and look for opportunities to support colleagues. Resilience. The American Psychological Association defines resilience as the process of adapting well in the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, threats, or significant sources of stress. I think we have pretty much all of those facing us currently. Brené Brown considers spirituality to be central to development of resilience. In The Gifts of Imperfection, she notes that in her research, without exception, spirituality, as she defines it, as the belief in connection, a power greater than self, and interconnections grounded in love and compassion, emerged as a component of resilience. And finally, hope. Brown defines hope not as an emotion, but as a way of thinking or a cognitive process made up of what C.R. Snyder calls a trilogy of goals, pathways, and agency. In other words, we have the ability to set realistic goals. We are able to figure out how to achieve those goals, including the ability to stay flexible and develop alternative routes. Once again, the importance of adaptability. And we believe in ourselves. So hope is a combination of setting goals, having the tenacity and perseverance to pursue them, and believing in your own abilities. Also sounds kind of like the recipe for succeeding in graduate school. Cultivation of these skills will be not only helpful in navigating the current rapidly changing situation, but will also serve you well in preserving passion as you pursue your purpose. I feel confident that each of you here today has a strong hope mindset. According to Brown, hope is learned, and those who self-report as hopeful put considerable value on persistence and hard work. As Margaret Mead stated, never believe that a few caring people can't change the world, for indeed, that's all who ever have. I have every expectation that each of you will positively impact the world as you go forth with hope, persistence, and hard work to pursue your calling. Once again, congratulations.